know that this is not yet making an episode here, but it's actually sort of the point here, because by that time it'll be a bit too late. But just a notification that probably sometime this weekend, or the beginning of next week, they will be updating the main version, the version that I'm playing, of Black Ice. There is a video on my channel, those of you who do sort of catch this opening, and I may shout this out again. There is a video on how to preserve your earlier versions of the mod. Download locally to your system, so when they do update it, if you're in the midst of a long game and you don't want to have their new version. Not that their new version isn't an improvement, I don't know. I have not been following their test versions. This isn't a knock, it's just against them at all. It's just if you want to have a more older version here, that's what you need to do. Alright, well, Von Manstein. Let's give Von Manstein our Totenkopf division. What does our Totenkopf division look like? Totenkopf, death heads. Okay, so bunch of support units here. SS motorized infantry with motorized artillery. So it should be pretty quick if we have it fully equipped, and it does look like enough trucks and light vehicles to keep it mobile. Motorcycles in the thing, and so yeah, it should be good. So we're dealing with that. Let's move that over to. And we have here the Polizei division. It is basically the same OOB. Now they did have at different times in it. I have one set of books that covers the various Waffen divisions. But they just have all of these units named here, but not necessarily when they were with the division. Meaning, you know, they might have like 3rd Regiment and whatnot, and whatever the actual regimental name was, but not with proper order of battle and not a proper date, because these units, you know, changed over time. And they didn't even talk about it. They just in the book, they hadn't tried to organize things up in a way that it would help for immersion. You know, if we could, you know, go in and rename some of the stuff more individually, you know, and hover over it instead of military police detachment, put the actual unit name or something like that, just for immersion's sake. If we could do that, it would help, but okay. Oh, we lost to Admiral Nimitz. We lost 2 convoys here. Wonder where he's operating from. And we have a battle going out here in which the Italians, with 7 battleships. I didn't know the Italians had 7 battleships. Is battling a battleship currently. These are my understanding, if I read or know this chart, these are units that are either coming to engage, or looks like, because they're sort of down on strength or something, look like they are disengaged here from the action. This is what's been lost. Both lost a destroyer, and the Brits lost 9 transports. They may lose this battleship. That looks like they got the battle cruiser out, but just, you know, just under 10% organization. With just Italian air supporting that operation. We do have German air here operating down in here. And we can see some of these units here have been decimated. So we can't keep up with losses. And they're somewhat lost ground down. They're doing better. Don't know why. I don't know why we've had such... We have a lot of... I mean, you know, our float planes and bombers are just... Ugh. But we have decent fighters here. So I don't know if it's going after... The ship attacks have just been so poor. I don't know. I honestly don't know. Oh boy, that's one thing I've sort of tried to avoid with some of my other deployments. Okay. Oh boy. Well, I guess we should make an episode. Is anybody out watching yet? I don't know. Oh, nice to get a Coke in. Waking up. All right. Welcome back. Oh, that didn't work right. Welcome back, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer 1745 with my continuing playthrough of, yes, Hearts of Iron 4's Black Ice. And I know probably by the time this is released, they've already released the update on the new version of Black Ice for the main version. They supposedly did a test version and released the day before I've been making this. And I know I said in an earlier episode, though it's been a week in reality, the economy isn't big enough. It just isn't big enough. I don't know, and I haven't looked into, haven't been playing. I don't know the economy for the Allies, but whether it's I'm dumping too much into trucks or too much into other things, because right now we have not enough trains. Not enough trains indeed, and not enough horse... Well, maybe we have enough horse carts at the moment. But we... Yeah, oh, actually we do have 30,000. Wow, that's a whole lot. Okay, that's a whole lot. Wow, okay, that we can shift around. Now, over here, hang over this, we need rubber. Okay. Alright, well. And greetings, Arno. Arno can be a bit delusional at times. One, he thinks there's still a Dutch Empire, too, that we'd be the underlings of it. Yeah. I mean, you know, it's nice to have delusional friends, but they're still delusional. Right. So, well, Arno will like this, but let's take a look at some of these. We took out an Australian, or was that New Zealand? Transport, another transport there, and another two there, transport there. So our submarines are doing good. Okay. 3 transport there. I clicked the other one away. Didn't really need to. So we're doing okay there. Now, what happened out here? Okay, inconclusive. Some of our close air support spotted the submarines, but they all dove, and got out. No, way down here. Oh, is that a Dutch ship? Is that Yugoslav? That's Yugoslav, isn't it? Yeah, if that's... Is that what? What flag? Is it? Why am I confused on these flags? Yeah, that's Yugoslav as opposed to Oh no, that's probably the Dutch. Yeah, those were Dutch. We sent 2 Dutch transports. Okay, let's. We were taking a look here. Well, one of the problems here. Okay, what do we have for medium? Only 65. See, I went over from light anti-tank to medium anti-tank, but my division still want light anti-tank. Now, I still have 2,000, so I don't know if we'll have a problem there. We have a lot of anti-air. Probably more anti-air than we need. So let's see. Where's anti-air? Okay, it's down from where we were. How much? Only 2 factories. Well, let's go down to 1. Alright, that will help. Get us more fighters in production. Garrison equipment, we're only down 2,000 now compared to what we were before. Now, infantry equipment, we have like 100,000. And let's look, okay, mostly 20,000. Okay, we got almost 100,000. 20,000 Carbiner 98K is the basic German stuff. Those are probably what, Czechoslovak? No, these are Czechoslovak. Those are probably Polish Mausers. So I don't know. 10,000 Moss rifles. Those are French. Mauser M35. What are those? Belgian Mausers? I don't know. They use Mausers. Made Mausers. Alright, well, good. We got lots of infantry equipment, so let's reduce this down some. Not huge numbers, but some. Because if we have the engine production now, we could use a few more engines because we are at 90% capacity. We need more capacity for our engines. And hello, turn low. Alright, we're going through and rebalancing, but I'm still, looking here, uniforms, 180,000. Okay, so we have lots and lots of uniforms. Now, in my last playthrough, we had a lot of naked soldiers. I wonder what they were wearing. So, we're going to, ask Garrison equipment that we're trying to catch up on. Where's uniforms? I just saw uniform jack. Oh, screw. Okay, let's cut that down to that. Alright, okay. I don't like not having enough. Now, over here with our... Okay, well, I don't know if that bug is fixable by the team. I don't blame them for that. It's obviously by clicking in and out of it, it fixes it. Okay, we can up our aluminum production if we have enough bauxite. And we're down from bauxite because we've just started. And I haven't had the clock yet to get the sort of sales pitch, or sales transport, whatever, operational. So let us do that. Hopefully into the next 24-hour period here. Okay, insufficient. Okay, so now we have bauxite. Now we are still down 10 aluminum, so let's go do that. That'll put us to positive 3 aluminum. We're still down negative 1 rubber. We don't want to get rubber from here. That's way far away. We're getting ready to invade the Soviet Union. So, let's go with Romania. Yeah, let's go with Romania to deal with our rubber needs. Okay, so there we go. And we're going to continue with our shifting of priorities here because we want more aircraft, fighter aircraft particularly. We need more aluminum, so let's come back to here. We still have positive on bauxite, so let's throw in a new. The big thing here is the more of this you use, the more bauxite you need, but you don't need the bauxite if you you've got a positive amount of aluminum. One and two, we are at 92%. We're using 92% of our available power, so that will use up a little bit more power here. So that is an issue. Now, seeing that that is an issue, this has become a resource management game more, to me, almost more than a war game now. They got lovely mechanics here, but I still miss, and I still want to play one or two major campaigns in Hearts of Iron 3 Black Ice. That is still a goal for me. Just for those of you who don't know, my life has changed, and I've got things I've got to deal with. It. The YouTube channel gets to still continue, and I get to still do things, but just some of the priorities and pressures are taking me away from modding and keeping this as a priority. So we're not going away. It's just I'm just feeling the pressure of other stuff. I really love it, but my vision for a grand strategy game, and originally it was just sort of greater European theater, based off the old Third Reich game from Avalon Hill. This is before anything touched the computer. Though there is a computerized version of that out there that actually sort of sucks. But envisioning what is in essence become, as before Hearts of Iron was ever created, let alone I ever heard of it. My vision had things like, because I watched, documentaries, that engines, whether for tanks or for aircraft, were failure points. Is to have engine factories and have tank, not just military IC type or whatever, let alone dividing between military and civilian IC, whether you're expanding your economy, but to have at least some of these factory types. So I really love this about this game. I really, truly do. But one of my main development, you used to see the Hoi is about to drop V12. No, I did not see that. Thanks for letting me know. I don't know if that's good or bad. Because that means, because I do want to update my mod at least one more time. And it wouldn't be for V12. It might be for V12.2 or something. Let them work some bugs out. But I really don't want to keep chasing Black Ice there. One more big leap I'm willing to do, and then I'm going to have to lock it down. And I don't know whether I'd want to go back a version or not. I just would have to look in, because I don't like this. When I was playing, I wasn't liking some of their design choices, but that's other issues. I'm not looking at it well enough now. But had some of these things that even Black Ice doesn't have. Sorry, Hearts of Iron 3 doesn't have, let alone Black Ice in it. But this was very much a design element of my game that I wanted to, to have something like engines and have something like artillery barrels, which would be needed for tanks, not like armored personnel carriers, but tanks, and sort of this kind of thing. But it would have, like up here at the top kind of thing, it would have like 3 choices that you could pick. One choice, one box choice would be try to do the historical thing as best the game developers figured it out for a particular country. And when I say that, try to do the most historical thing would be, allocating resources on certain priorities at certain percentages. But obviously, things like bombing could take factories out, or losing territory could cut off resources, or whatever. And sometimes if you look at Germany or Italy, you may see a drop or a change in decision is because of bombing. But if you've bombing levels are less because you have more fighters on the home front, things wouldn't necessarily be exactly historical, but try to sort of follow historical priorities. That would be one choice. The other choice would be sort of based off of who are these guys, in the slots. Who are the guys in the slots? So if you, is in charge of the Luftwaffe, that's on now over here on this button here. Who's in charge of the Luftwaffe? But it wasn't so much the Luftwaffe, but it would be the. We should probably have some of these guys filled here, but. Oh, no. Why are we supposed? Oh, hell. I think we need to go back. Was it the Husky? Oh, boy. This is the first time I'm touching this. Hey, Hoffmanator. Good to have you here, and thanks for all your support. Okay, well, no, but these are working. Oh, now they're sort of working. Oh, never mind. It hadn't clicked in. Good. But sort of, and I would have who my design for this would have, who was in charge of the Air Force, the Luftwaffe in Germany's case, and then it might have other commands here, but like one would be like production. And so if you chose, who you're putting in charge of production of aircraft, would sort of, so the other box that you would choose would be the main determining factor. Are you going to focus on fighters or bombers, or based upon the person you put in charge. And so it wouldn't do like all. Mohib, how you doing? I'm doing very well. So I'm glad that wasn't a problem. This was a little bit of an issue here. I don't know why, but hadn't loaded in the symbols. Okay, feeling better. So not that it would like exclusively do fighters, but like heavy emphasis on fighters, or heavy emphasis on naval bombers and whatever. And so that would be one of the options for up on for, I know it was on this, was I whatever, but I know I was on this thing for production. And then the third would be manual, which is in essence what we have here, is manually, and including like construction building. What would be, do you build more, where do you focus on overall for your construction guys? Your guys like Spear here running the economy, or other people. So that would be how you would do it. And even if you did pick the option for one or two, or A or B, either historical or by minister priority, you could still really, like, if you really loved, like I do, flying boats. Well, no, I'm going to force them to use a minimum of 3 factories flying boats, but otherwise let the air production minister, whoever I have assigned, or if it's historical, do the historical thing. That was my idea. I don't know that that is incorporatable with the current engine, but it is how I would look at it. Now, okay, we can't build dams. I agree that that is probably both time and what would be more problem is physical locations to actually build. They're are too easy to, abuse or whatever. Where would you do it? It would have to be um, some decisions or whatever based upon. Oh, yeah, let's do it, Brandon. Okay, we're gonna build a power plant there, and let's do another power plant here. That way we'll probably conquer power plants, but I don't know how much versus resources needed. But I figure we should do some of that. Hello, Indica. I'd recommend improve your infrastructure on food producing provinces instead of making those food factories. If there are also other resources, it could be okay. Well, right now, and you're probably right, but right now we have sort of gone up in food capacity. We had been down at 16%. So, and you're probably right on increasing infrastructure. And I do not, quite honestly, I do not know. Oh no. Okay, get out of that. I don't know what affects food production. Does infrastructure? Do you know? I'm not doubting you. There's also other resources it could be super efficient for. Okay, building health, bombing damage, fuel capacity. I know it does fuel transport capacity and that kind of thing into the region, the infrastructure, but does it? Economic war economy, that's modified fuel storage. Why? Power in the strategic regions. Yeah, that's what I understood this to be, but does this affect the calculus here? I honestly don't know. I mean, I'm not disbelieving what you're saying, but I just don't know. All right, well, we've got, let's create a new task force, all submarines, yay. Okay, let's select these, and then let's create a new task force, and okay, select, let's give it some delete here. My Japanese run infrastructure increases food production. Okay, very good, Hoffmanator. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So I will definitely keep that in mind in future. I'm going to continue. I'm almost done with the two, obviously, factories that I have built. So I'm going to continue with those. There's still quite honestly a lot for me to learn here. Okay, we're going to send you guys out to there. We're going to grab you and we're going to, let's put you there. Doesn't really matter that much to me at the moment. And we're going to put you out here, and again as convoy rating. There we go. So infrastructure in a state improves food production in a state. That seems reasonably logical to a degree. All right. We could do that. Okay, well, rations produced with grain. Grain is like iron and other resources. You get more grain. With infrastructure, you get more rations with no energy. I usually do it with Raj. Okay. Okay, so we are doing the Waffen SS expansion. That's just going to be a few days. Oh, and I did mention we should, and I've been neglecting this, because we do have a fair amount of. Okay, let's see, Spirit Overview. Let's see. More than. Spirit of the Academy. Why is this all doing air experience here? Political loyalty? We come down to. Oh, this is. No, this is effed up. Look at Slovene. Huh? You see? Okay, this is an effed up game. Ah. Okay. Well, people, your screen is going to go black while I figure this out. Ah. Because I know they've updated Hoi 4 here. Let's see now. Let's come see if going to Husky. I was sort of looking at this. Okay, we're starting to download. We're updating. Let's see if this fixes it. This may fix it. Or yeah, maybe there was some. Other announcements here. I don't know. Let me while we're updating here. Let me go into the workshop. Let me look for subscribed items here. I want to see what they put on there. Right, Black Ice main page. Get to there we are. I know you can't see this; it's still just black for you, but okay. Let's notes. Do they have? Okay. Current version. Okay. Well, let's see. I should have maybe looked at that, but we'll see. We're updating here. See what way version comes up when I load in. Now, this unless they haven't changed their page, but we'll go in anyways just to see. It's still updating. 68% done. Oh boy. I know I did some management there. 73%, 74%. I know you guys really dig watching a black screen. It's really fun. Oh boy. But that tells me that there are other things that could become real serious bugs. 81% updated, 82% updated. Come on, come on, come on. I don't know if they've updated this, but '91. Please, one of these things easily fixes it. Oh, now it's installing. What was updating doing? Oh, installing 100%. Okay. Now let's come here and click here. And then let's play. Yes. Hopefully that solves our problem. If not, there's another thing I can do. Oh, I didn't check the checksum. Oh, we just had a crash. Okay, that wasn't what we needed to do. I don't think. Okay. Let me just... Well, uh, um, that's just completely way out of date, it looks like. Okay, that caused a crash, so that's not what I want to do. Okay, so that was not what I wanted to do. So let's come to Hearts of Iron and opt out of Husky, because as you can sort of tell, that I woke up just a short while ago and I was not prepared for this, because while that's doing that thing, well, I'll keep talking at you. Hush. To go back to that. So they may have updated. They said they were talking about updating it this weekend, the main announcement for the main version, but they hadn't done it. They didn't say that they had done it, but maybe they had done it. And like going to and doing are two different things. That was yesterday, so I didn't know. When I first loaded in, it seemed good. Okay, we are back to 31%. Riveting stuff, I know, people. Sorry. Yeah, sorry. I should get this organized better for you guys. You deserve a good show if you're giving me your time here. I do have, once this, okay, 49%, 50%. Once I have one more setting set up to try that I think will solve the problem. $64, $65, come on. Pedal faster. You're still using the test version. Hopefully the main version will update soon. Well, that's what they announced, and I did check this before. Their announcements at the Discord server, as of yesterday, at an hour from now, test version updated. Main version will follow on weekend if no issues are found. And then let's do a ping to everyone. So I saw no other, like, oh yeah, it's all good. It was this weekend, which could be today, could be tomorrow, I don't know. And if no issues are found, and I didn't know if what. So that was definitely all those air minister types in the army field, and then other things in the Luftwaffe field are telling me that something is not right, because I know they weren't wrong a few weeks ago. Could have theoretically crept in last week, but I don't think so. But I did do a locked-in older version of the mod, not the game, but the mod. And I will do that. Or switch over to that once we are finishing updating here. 91. I'm on 92% updating. We'll see. The black screen is just because this is black ice. Yeah, that's my story. You have to play the game without seeing the game. At the end, it tells you if you won or not. There we go. Well, let's try this. Come back to the launcher. Yes, I want the launcher. Okay, now I need to I think it's video. Yeah, I think here we go. Oh, no, this is, I don't think this is right. Oh, close. Yeah, no, this isn't right. Quit. No, this is the playset is wrong. Okay, let's do the launcher again. Okay, okay, let's come in, playsets. Looks empty here. Wait. No. Cancel. What don't we have? Home video. Okay, well, test new is no. Okay, here. Oh, that's, oh man. Yeah, I don't think that's the one we want. This could be it. No, that's not it. I have several play sets here that no, going through. Maybe it's this one. Yeah, I think this might be it. Let's try this one. Let's see if this is compatible with the save. But I'm thinking not by the splash screens here. I think they're older. Let's see when we get in here. Single player load. Well, this probably won't work. Oh boy. Well, maybe this did. Well, no, we're still getting this. Okay. Now, is this just because that's always fucked up and I didn't know it? Has this just been effed up and I didn't notice? Okay, I'm going to. Man, I hate trying to problem solve like this live on TV. Okay, I'm going to exit the game again here. I'm going to come in here, play. Yeah, always use this option. I keep doing this from here. Okay, so I'm going to do playset, add new playset. Okay, create a new playset here, and then let's add some mods. Right. Okay. So, um, there we go. We want to add this mod, and let's do the black ice graphical mod. Right. Add to play set. Right. Enable. Now let's come up to home. There we go. I think this will work. I think this will work. I hope this will work. A single player load. Hmm. Okay, well, I guess I just ignore this. I don't know, because that's the only thing I'm seeing that looks really wrong. Everything else looks good, because I went and poked around before starting the stream, because I did notice the, I don't know. I did notice the issue there. Okay, well, oh boy. Okay, well, I don't know. Yes, we get to see me do all this over again. Okay, let's end this episode, not the live stream, just the episode here. I don't know what's up here. Why we are, because that looks right. That Serbian anger, that doesn't look right. Spirit of the Academy, political loyalty, yeah, yeah, that just doesn't look right. And Croatian nationalism suppressed. Have I just not noticed this problem for a while? I don't know. I do not know. Um, but we're going to end this episode and see you next time for more, yes, more Hearts of Iron. All right, let's start an episode again here. Welcome back, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer 1745 here with my continuing look at and hopefully continuing playing of Black Ice Hearts of Iron for our Hearts of Iron 4. And I want to thank Tim, Strongarm, Niagro, Timothy, Sir Toyjet, Gary, Garrett, Marcus, Folk, and of course the great Hoffmanator for support over on Patreon. But what I ask everybody else to do is if you can lick the like button, it's really tasty. Smash the subscribe button if you're new around here. And everybody, it helps so much if you post a question, comment. It feeds the algorithm. So I thank everyone who does those things as well. That's all I ask anybody to ever do is lick the like button, post a comment. All right, so what we're going to come over here and we're going to create a new fleet. I know I just did this for the live viewers a moment ago. And we're going to select this. And then we're going to, well, let's move all of these to this fleet here. And then we're going to create a new fleet, and we're going to give them approximately half of our portion. We're going to select that and give them a new fleet there. This one, let's send out as convoy rating up to the North Atlantic there. These 9, we're going to send out, again, convoy rating to here. So we'll get some convoy rating in. Now, what I had done, I got a redo here for building. Okay, having to ignore. Right. So, okay. Yeah, we'll let a few hours go by here. Time on the clock. put to the max a day. And that way when we come back here, we are more correct in our... Alright. Needs... Okay, how many radios? That's one thing I didn't really look. How many radios do we have? Where's radio equipment? Oh, 20,000. Okay. So I don't know that we need 20,000. We might. But let's cut production in half. Let's come up to here. Oh, no, down to here. Let's give them an extra factory's worth there. Let's come down to here with the railway engines, and let's give them that many. I want to come up here to anti-aircraft flag. Let's go down to 1. I'm going to increase that and that. But we're also, let's see, what are we going to decrease here? I think we're going to, we've got lots and lots of horse transport, so we're going to reduce that down. Well, we're going to need some more engines if we want to fully support everything. Okay, so we're going to do with that increased aircraft. We need more bauxite. Let's do 2 more. And we also need some more rubber, so let's come over to rubber and get it from our nearby friendly ally of Romania. There we go. That covers a lot of our production there. And I want to... Let's get... Oh, well. Yeah, let's get Totenkopf. We're going to give it to Monstein right over here. And... Liebsten. Okay. Yeah, up to Dietrich there. We are so ill prepared for an invasion of the Soviet Union. It is incredible. I think I should just surrender right now. Not to the Soviet Union, since we haven't attacked them. To the Western Allies. Okay, you guys. Hold air wings. Fly up to here. Do we have any extra fighters at all? Okay, 400. Okay, good. So we have a bunch of extra fighters. A bunch of older 109s, actually, even. That's very good. Okay. So, we're getting ready to, do smart things like invade the Soviet Union. Never goes wrong to invade Russia. Okay, you come there. And let's deploy you here. Right, okay. Let's here. Do you here. Get you deployed, and yes, we can go down to this Ploetzi. And what? That's what I was looking for. Let's come down here and do you. You'll pick up a few other odds and end aircraft to cover that. what you can. Good, we need the fighters. I know we're not winning in the West, but we're going to need fighters coming up soon. God, I don't know what to do down here. We are at least trying to fly supplies down, which we're doing some, down to the western desert. And we have some escorts. Good. We are running supplies into here, and we have set up the highest level of motorization for supplies. Okay, well, let's try this. Let's support with that. Ground support integration. Nice to have better tactics for your air operations. Okay, we are in 42, so we could do this one here, strategic bombing, or we can try to push down here. It's ahead of time by considerable amount, but naval mission efficiency, that would be nice. We will do that. We will do that. Okay. Let's counterattack here. I know that may not be the best idea, but it's hopefully saving these guys from okay, let's support and let's support. Okay, Waffen SS expansion, very good. Defensive planning skill, defense skill and planning skill, okay. Now, we have got this Waffen SS expansion. We have, oh, where is it? Here. 42 days. We need to do this now if we're going to go after the Soviet Union on an even sort of seasonal decent time base, so we're going to do that. And I want to come over here, and now that we've expanded the 42, I just want to see if there's other up here. Now I see this. There, we get to do that. None of these others are currently available to us. All right. Okay, well, that gets us another division there. No, okay. Venezuela. Busy with their own problems. Yep, we're going to be pushed back here very soon. Before you guys collapse, stop attacking just because they will counterattack. Industrial fertilizers, very good. That will also help up here with our food needs, I know. So it will industrial farm construction speed 5%, also modify industrial farm output by 1 per that is part of the reason, because I knew I was doing this, that I made They've all been built now. I've been made all those industrial farms, so they will put out, each one of them will put out more food. Okay, well, let's look back up here. This will reduce our need for coal and our need for power, and actually increase our fuel gain from refineries. So let's do that. Keep the oil flowing. And hello, Rhaegar. How you doing? Well, we're not fighting Egypt. We're fighting the British in Egypt, and not so well. And Toyjet, did I say hello, Toyjet, my good friend? All right. Where are the... There it is. Okay, so we have this new template of a division. It's not a bad division. Let's see. We have some light tanks in this mountain division. What are they? Think historically for this Prinz Eugen. They were R-35s or whatever, the French light tanks. But we have Panzer Is. How lovely in our mountain division. Well, let's send them over here. They can go fight in the Caucasus later on. Or Crimea. Wherever fun places they get to go fighting in. Yay. Yeah, they're being pushed back. But fortunately, these guys are reorganizing, so they won't get cut off. You know, I even wonder... you know, should I give up this province? The real problem is they do have a land fort here. If I gave up this province and retreat back to Mersa Maruth, I would get better supply. Fine, but they might get worse supply. And then I could defeat them and overrun them if I could push fast and hard enough. But I don't know that I would push fast and hard enough. So I'm probably not going to do that. I don't know. I don't know. Need to have naval. Was screwing me. Yeah, the U.S. fleet sat in port and didn't bother to engage. I wasn't allowed to launch invasions of Florida. Yeah, naval power is very powerful in this game, unlike Hearts of Iron 3, where you could sort of dodge around it. All right, let's see. What do we want to... We got the torsion bar, which may just want to really help us out here. Yeah, we want to do this. And we'll spend 25 on that. Because now that we've done that, I think we can come here. And, oh, Arno. Is Arno still here? Say hi, Arno, if you're still here. Do you want tigers, Arno? Yes, you want tigers? We could have tigers, Arno. Tigers, tigers, tigers. And I'm thinking, let's click over here and get the wasp. Oh, no, we already got the wasp. Okay, I guess it needs to be browned out. If you don't know, sometimes when they're undone, you haven't researched them yet, they're green. And then when you do them, they turn brown. And and it may not be so much text. It may be text, it's one way. And national focus, yeah. So national focus, if it's done, it's brown. Or whatever. And as text, this is what aggravates the hell out of me. Oh, we want to come here. With some of these things. Here, it's texts that are brown or undone. I wish they had us. This has always given me confusion problems of, oh, it's green, I know. It just, yeah. So yeah, we'll do Tigers. We now have Tigers as a designed, researched equipment description. Where? Oh, God. Okay. There is something wrong. I don't know what it is, guys. I don't know if it's the version of Hoi 4 that I have. I messed around with that. Or if it's the version of Black Ice that I went back to or whatnot. Because equipment description here, it's just not working right. I might be able to solve this because I did go make a lockdown save. I thought I picked the right one here, but I'm seeing more and more errors creep into this. But I'm not gonna. I just don't have the mentality to solve it online right now, or live. Just a little too frustrating. So, do we end the stream, or do I play a different game? What do we do here? Well, I'm going to end the recording here for the episode because this isn't working out. I can maybe figure it out later. See you guys if I ever post this. I don't know that I will, but see you guys later. We'll figure out what we're doing going forward. I can do test stuff when I can't. No, I'm not set up right now to do Hoi 3. Because it would be Black Ice, and they've updating stuff, and I don't want to start that. That's just too big of a thing to start. Because if I started to play some and then I didn't continue through with a series, it'd be a bad idea. Let me give some suggestions as likely. Maybe a combat mission I could do. I could do strategic command, like Strategic Command World War One. Yeah, would you guys be interested in that? Yeah, they released the Argentine DLC, and that may be part of the problem because although I didn't buy the DLC, they did do. Arno wants to do combat mission. We could do Panzer Corps 2 and look at their latest DLC. Not the one that's coming, but the one that's already out. The invasion of the U.S. Do you want to see me invade the U.S.'s Germany and Panzer Corps 2? There's a I'm partway into a Strategic Command World War One scenario on the Western Front, pushing in that or combat mission. Combat mission is sort of the lowest one on my priority. It's possible, but that's Arno likes that, and Toyjet likes Panzer Corps. I like Panzer Corps 2. That's a good one. Yeah, I think we'll do, since nobody else has spoken up on the World War One, because it was sort of for me right now. Okay, let's do Panzer Corps. Okay, guys, again, did I, I just minimized that screen. Yes. Panzer Corps is also good. Okay, yeah, Arno, good. Let's close this. Your screen. Yes, we'll be going black. Scary blackness coming again. And yes, I know this stream description will be wrong, but okay, we're coming into Panzer Corps 2. Now this is load game. Let's see. Yes, turn 21. Well, I'll explain everything here, where we're at, and what we're doing. We're nearly winning this scenario here. So we have a few more turns here, obviously, but we're doing well. But let me make a episode here. Welcome, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer 1745, and we are playing Panzer Corps 2 live. Say hi to the internet, and I'll say I want to thank Tim, Strongarm, Niagro, Timothy, Sir Toyjet, Gary, Garrett, Marcus, Folk, and of course the great Hoffmanator for support over on Patreon. But all I ask anybody to do is lick the like button, make a comment. That feeds the algorithm, really helps out. And if you're new around here, smash the subscribe button. All right, well, we're invading America, the land of the free, with the unfree Nazis. And this is the 1946 DLC, is basically a fantasy DLC. And we are, and the idea with this is they've sort of taken sort of a novel approach in that the Japanese or whatever sort of captured the British fleet in the Pacific, in like India or Indian Ocean or Pacific or whatever, and turn it over to the Germans. And then with the help of the Japanese, they're invading on the Pacific coast, the Germans. And there is a couple of scenarios up in Alaska that you're doing some sort of commando type raid here. But the Yamato has beached itself right on the coast here, so it's damaged and it's doing that right now. The Japanese are controlling it. Yes, we have a captured Su-152 unit here, Sir Toyjet. And so we can take a quick look at what we could be purchasing as in types of armor. Here it's sort of grayed out because we don't have free slots. We could do the Mouse, the E100, the E75, the E50, Panther 2. We can look at some of the stuff I do currently have. That for aircraft, we could be flying the Horton bomber here. I don't know anything really about this America bomber thingy. This other sort of Focke-Wulf TA-2000 for tactical bombers, Ju-187 with the weird tail thing, or the Arados. And for fighters, well, we could be flying some of those, or we could be, I think we do have some of these Horton flying wings here. And various other fighter things. So we'll take a look at what I'm actually sort of rocking currently in all this. So we got some captured units. Okay, so we got to capture all 6 San Francisco ports, which we've done 5 of them. I'm not capturing this one just yet. Yes, intentionally avoiding that capture. Capture ports in Oakland and Alameda. That's over here. This is up in Oakland, and Alameda is down here. So we've got to sort of get across the water, like come here and load onto ships or something. And I'm saving this to capture this. Now, the other in which we succeeded in doing the elite thing, just had done that before I saved this here, of taking all 3 of the Presidio forts before taking the 7th or the 6th, sorry, which we could do now. Take this out down here. So, and this is the Japanese fleet that is supporting us, and there's a lot of American air power. We have this weird Vought, and I have heard of this, seen of this thing here, this weird Vought flying disc thingy. That was a prototype historically. So we are battling things out here. And what? So we have various anti-air. Have they reshot? I don't remember what I did last episode. Or not episode, but last one I was playing it. Okay. Like I say, I don't remember what we did. I think it was basically just closing up here. Okay, we're going to move. This is captured KV-2s. Let's move these guys up here to get AA support better to various units. Over here we got, this way can't really do too much there. Alright, so, well, yes, let's reinforce. We also have some captured Calliopes. Okay, a little bit of a shootout there then. And over here we've sort of pursued and got these air bases. There are some... Oh, I guess no air bases back... Oh, there is one way back here. Some of them will be able to retreat to, but there's also up here, I believe, some air bases. I don't know. Maybe not. Oh, yeah, there's one there. So some of the American air is going to retreat after taking these bases here. So let's end this turn. Yeah, see those two just crashed in. There's not enough basing for all of their aircraft. Okay, so we are here. That's some old Stuart Light. Oh, M3 Satan? I don't know what that is, quite honestly. Here's our Panther 2s. Well. Okay, so we've done that. We've taken them out. We're going to reinforce these guys. These are Panzer 7 lows. Let's move you down. I don't want to be ambushed, so I'm not pushing too hard. But now that we see this, okay. We just inch our way to here. We'll be able to blow that apart. Now we'll shoot there. We'll give us overrun. And to be able to blast that. Oh, it's actually an overrun too. Okay, neither of those would be good attacks this turn. We're going to move this up for what air power that may remain back here. Give us air coverage. These guys will come up this way. We don't need to keep that. Okay, you come up to here. So now we have a decent amount of anti-air coverage there. And I got some motor torpedo boats. If I leave one of these ports here, these motor torpedo boats will retake the port. Now, they've come down here with a super Pershing here in the forest. Let's take that out. Oh, they had guns backing them up. That did not take them out. Okay, that did take them out. These guys can come up here, these grenadiers. Aha. Yeah, let's get rid of these. Alright, so they're done. Let's elite reinforce these guys. We take that, but these forts will pound us if we move north a lot. So I don't think I really want to try to cross. That's the Golden Gate Bridge. That existed at the time. I don't know if this existed. This was a major naval base out here. That's Alcatraz, the prison. X-mat format. Okay. So, oh, they've got a big artillery piece there. That guy's a problem a little bit. Some 105 Shermans are affecting us a little bit. Oh boy. Well, bring our infantry down that way. Now, we don't need all of this up here. Jet Power Stuka's armed with 30 millimeter. Yeah. We got some stuff. These guys are pretty good fighters here. They may have anti-aircraft guns that would wreck us more than we need to. This would be a good idea, I think. So we have, and we will reinforce that. So both of these infantry units are backed up with tank destroyers. We got some Yag Tigers here that are obviously super tank destroyers. We got a Sturm Tiger unit. Just a standard Ostwind there. Now I'm thinking, yeah, let's shift air base to here. Air base to here for these guys. Yeah, we got some bombers down here that. Having the streets of San Francisco. We can push on this next turn. We don't really need to push here now. Yeah, we'll just wait. Reinforcing. We'll leave the cover up there. We'll come this way with some of this because this is a bit of a traffic jam here. Like I say, I don't think I'm going to push across that bridge. Just need to hold it. I want to take this, but I also want to push into here and see if I can put some. I don't know if I need to get airborne units to try to cross this, or if I can embark some of those on transports. We'll see. It's like secure. Oh, bombers are back. Yeah. Japanese are actually doing pretty good up here with their attacks. Okay, well, we're going to help that out by. What are they? Is he? No, he can't be complete. Is he completely surrounded? Yeah, he. Oh no. We can come to. No, we can't. Hoping we could get into that. Oh no, we can't. Yeah, right to there. It's because of the other units around here that's not letting me select the hex easily. No. No, we got all these guys to worry about, but I do want to sort of take that one completely out. There we go. There we go. He's gone. Go after this. Fighter unit first. Oh, he's still up. Okay, well, and I should have, of course, fired first with that. Oh, he's still alive, damn. Try this, it says just... Yep, it required coming in here anyways. But it's best to fully take out that unit instead of letting them reinforce. Now down here, oh goody, we have one of these guys here, twin Mustangs. Okay, you come down here and... Well, now let they... No, I don't want these guys. Let's get reinforcements coming. And now that, well, okay. Before I sacrifice... Okay, these guys cannot make it to here, and I'm worried about that. If I moved in my tactical bombers. So let's come here and... Well, we take out those bombers. Yay. Uh-oh. Okay, we got some Pershings. All right, so we can hit them with our big artillery. Our King Tigers, they retreat. We can take them out. That's a nice overrun. Now, as you can see, this is a nice armored thrust. I do not, unfortunately, have enough infantry here, and I maybe should have moved a couple of these infantry this way. Okay, well, These guys, though, do have the close defense, so they can deal with it. Alright, so you're going to come up to here. These guys also have close defense. So, yeah, I think I was thinking of bringing him up, but we did before. We're going to come here. Oh, more Pershings. Okay, well, we can sort of kind of deal with that. Right. Well, you see, we should have fired that artillery piece first. You come up to here. You come up and support there. Yeah, it's pretty well protected. He's out. Doesn't have anti-air cover, but move him. Well, these guys can go to here. These guys can go to... And they can shoot out at little boats. Pershing tank versus 2, who will win? Well, we'll see if they decide to come in after. They're probably going to come after our Panther Gs here, if anything. That's the most vulnerable one. There's the Pershing there. Now, I have not played this DLC beyond this point. This is as far as I've got. So we'll see what on over here. That's all right. Going after the aircraft, good guys. You like that. Okay, well, the Pershing buggered off to somewhere. Okay, how interesting. Well, let's come down here. This is one of their last sort of supply ports, so they're spawning in some units here. Looks no, not just us. Okay. These guys have lightning strike, which no support fire is done, so they can attack here without support from that. Let's weaken it a little bit and see if we can just take it out. Now, like I said, I should maybe lift a few over here. Okay, well, it's going to take an extra turn. Oh, well, wait a minute. If I move up here, it'll be the last thing. And they died. Now you can come in and occupy it. Oh! Nope. Nope. I didn't know that that was going to finish it. Nope, 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 nope. Nope, 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 nope. Load. Load the autosave. I did not know that that was going to finish this turn, or this scenario. So now I have to leave that untaken. Okay, so we have to leave that. From reading the thing is it take those ports first, but capture this didn't say that, and I thought I had the full 33 turns. So no. Nope, 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 nope. Let's withdraw a bit here. Yeah, okay, you guys can head up. Well, this way. We really don't need you there. Nope, nope, nope. I want to get all of the bonuses that we can. Okay, these guys can blast them. These guys will come up. These guys will come here. Blast like that. Okay, you get to overrun to there. Okay, we've got air base up there. Supporting some fighters, so we'll take that out. He's going to come up, and in case that Pershing is still around here, give anti-tank support. That'll do better air coverage. Up here, let's keep you moving. Distract him a little bit. Basically, all that it will do. Well, hold on. Let's see if we can take out this guy. Take him. Right. Corsair would. Corsair is just doing well, so we'll come down here. There we go. Now they've reinforced these tanks a bit, but if we move him up to here, we'll be able to fire at the super Hellcats. So it looks like it's just armor. Yeah, that'll do good. They retreat. Let's move up. The Yag Tigers. Now they're no longer in that air coverage, so we'll move these guys up to here. Yeah, they can shoot up. That bomber, and there. With fighting over the whole world. Well, I don't know that that's what they need. I mean, it wouldn't be a bad thing. The things that they're working on now are, I think it's a smaller battle campaign. I don't know how dynamic it is, as opposed to just linear. I don't know if it's dynamic or linear. It's going to come out rather soon, I think within a month. Around the Battle of the Bulge, in which you're, I believe, playing as the Allies. I mean, I haven't got my hands on it yet. I read a little bit about it or heard a bit about it, but I'm not sure. So that is coming. Mm-hmm. Well, since he did 2 attacks, you can see either we'll fully take him out. Nope, 1, and then do that, and then he's going to come over here and, well, grind him down. So. Wouldn't be a bad idea. I'm not like saying you shouldn't do it, but I don't know that that's really what they need. It's definitely a thing. It would be nice, I'm just Okay. Well, a little bit bloody. They're bombarding the fort up there. Are we okay? Nice. Okay, let's see now. Here we are. Ah, more American infantry showing up. Well. Hmm. Okay, well. Might as well shoot at this guy here. He's going to lose his air bases around here. Still not sure how I get over it. Well, it may let me next turn or get into the ports and load onto the ships. Sometimes scenarios will let you do that, sometimes they won't. I don't know their thinking logic behind all of that. And these ports, now that we hold them, or will they expect me to do an airborne invasion? I don't know. Okay. And overrun. I retreat. They have some sort of camouflage hiding ability. I can tell now that because he just disappeared when I should be able to see him. If I can fully take him out, that would be good. Okay, so we fully dealt with that. Let's go after this disc thing. And then let's move out to cover all of that. Now let's see you. You're going to get reinforced. What can they reach? They can't reach that fight, but they could reach him or, ooh, these two aircraft here. Come over here to do mass attack. Take him down and release effective. Yes, I should have used man here, but better. Don't know if it would have made any real difference. My big thing with this game is I want consistency. I want to have them keep the scale the same, the scale of the battlefield, as in what constitute, you know. I am unsure if this is a unit. This isn't a single tank. That's clear. But is this a platoon, a company, or a battalion? And sometimes on the scales of the map, it looks more like a battalion. Sometimes it's more like a company. Sometimes it's more like a platoon. I wish they would just settle in on a scale for the map, for the battle sizes, for your unit sizes. You know what this unit means here, as in that size. And if you want to have, you know, a bigger map, bigger play area, sure, you know, you can and decide to have more units on it, and then you can reduce it down if you want to reduce it down, but keep all of that sort of flowing is what I would like to see. Or, you know, but all on the same scale. I'd like to see that. That's the big thing I want them to do with this game. All right, 26th turn. We can load you into boats. Very good. Let's see. Let's get you into boats if we can. I think we probably have maximum float capacity, but I'm not that worried about it. Okay. Okay. What happened to that? Oh, there's some reconnaissance units. I may need you over in Alameda sooner than I. Yeah, let's go there. Now these fighters here, they go after him. What else is in range? I think I may. Well, I don't want to move them to there just yet. So let's go after these bombers. They copy the system of Panzer General. I kind of wonder why so many companies are rather trying to copy a system instead of. Oh, my understanding is they own the IP from Panzer General. Ragar. I don't know if they copied it. I think Panzer Corps is the evolution from Panzer General. Panzer General was back in the SSI days, but Matrix, through various things, got a hold of the from SSI, the license for Steel Panthers. They've suspended working on Steel Tigers. I'm really disappointed in that. But I think through, Panzer Corps 1 and 2 are not just, copied the style, but is a successor development from it. That's my understanding. Now, Order of Battle, that's, copied the style, which is also a Slytherin / Matrix, I forget which, published game as well. But my understanding, this is all like legitimate onward development. Now you could talk about, we have these guys here. All right, so what we're going to do here is they can make it to here, so these guys are going to come back to here. Okay, these come to here. Withdraw to here, and these guys will be in the forest with big anti-tank support against some more Pershings over here and some Calliopes. Panzer G system is decent compromise for 30-year-old PC, but it's a bit dated compromise. Yeah, well, I love the old Panzer General. I love the sort of phony type German accents in the game and whatnot. Oh, we didn't take that position. Okay, well, let's take... Okay. We just haven't attacked here. Oh, no, we did. Okay. Let's do this so we shut that down. That shuts down supplies over here even more. Okay, hopefully that's all good. You can sneak forward. You lower your barrel down to become an anti-tank gun to help protect that if there's tanks coming for it. I could be wrong. I'm not claiming to know. We're going after my heavy guns here. Okay, well, we got it. Thought I took care of the... Okay, well, you're going to get... Why can't you be reinforced? We got points. Oh, oh. Oh, no, we were still on the other guy, the other thing. Now, yeah, we can do that now. Okay. Take the airbase. Airbase to the enemy. There we go. There we go. We are taking them out. Okay, so we've got all of the supply hexes and victory hexes up there. We got one of the air bases here. Yeah, I think we'll just come here, land there. Okay, so, oh, a skink. How interesting. These are artillery, and now I've done a little damage at sea here. Let's come here, land here. These are close support, so they'll to there. There we go. Now these guys here, we can shoot at. Black bullet. Let's see if I've taken that black bullet out. Still 2 points left, so we'll fly down here and end him. Hey, Beam Slam! No, I was having... There's updated version bug situation, so I needed to find another thing to play to try to entertain people here, and I wanted to have fun playing something and not just end the stream. So we're doing Panzer Corps II, invading San Francisco here in 1946. Okay, you guys pull, we can, reinforcements. You got them. Okay. Well, I think we're gonna go back to anti-air and shoot at you. Version that I said over here in Oakland. Yeah, I know, and I know I didn't change the screen description, and no, I'm not going to put you into the ocean. I don't think. Well, yeah, I think. You guys go this way. Now, up here is mostly sort of be an air battle, so let's take out that. You go after that. That's the one we want to do. Fully take out. I wanted to. Not. Oh well. Okay. Let's. Before we do that, we do have some AA guns. Should have done that first. But let's see what that. Taking that. Yes, fully taking that. That's what we want. Missing all the files. I'm missing all these files from the artillery hitting U.S. cities in Hoi 4. I can get at least imagine them, but this is more detailed level. Hey, ZZ. Boom shakalaka, definitely, guys, yes. Right, well, fire a bit. Right, so I want to get these 3 victory hexes over here. I've got just a few more turns, but I think I can do it before the end. Damage. I know maybe I should move some of these things forward. Let's see how we're doing here. Okay. Those guys will probably do very well. Entrench these guys a bit. You do that too. Okay, good. You come here and land. Disembark. You can't attack this turn. Well, I think I'm brave enough to put you into the boats. Get you out over to here. Let's See about getting you down to here. And you come over to here. And down you go. Well, we got these guys over there, so let's take out. And down. And we'll help with the B-32 Dominator. Okay, let's pull you back a little bit. You can come up to here, and you can shoot way out there at the Calliope. Yeah. We'll put you on those two. I think you'll survive. You'll be devastating if I get you in action over there. Alright. I think we're good. At least what we need. Over here. The air battles over San Francisco continue. Alright, okay, well, let's... Oh, he doesn't quite have the range. If he were to come up to here, he could have the range. Our Sturm Tigers! Boom! Take them out, yes. Devastating, devastating. Okay, well, let's erase that unit. Oh, what's beam time? Well, we're not getting any. Okay, Beamsum doesn't have trust anymore? Wow. Okay. These guys will weaken them a bit. These pioneers will devastate them. Well, let's come in and get you ashore. You're not going to attack this turn, but you can come up to here. Now we'll move you up to get you some artillery support, just in case they decide to do attack on you in the city. Right. Urban environment. Okay, yes, we have, what, 4 or 3 more turns to get these positions done, and I think we will. Okay, well, let's continue to grind on here. There we go. No air escort. You went down pretty easy. Arno's being naughty. Well, he's always being naughty. What are you talking about? Yeah, he's always naughty. I thought that's what we liked about him. That we get to kick him once in a while, you know, hey. These Hellcats. Down. There we go. More bombers down. Okay, I'm gonna risk it. There we go. Boom. We're not gonna take the victory. We're just eliminating a unit here. Yes, you should know. Yes. Okay. Yeah, these guys can. Okay. All right. Okay. Now, with Panzer Corps 2, there is no benefit to achieving the goal earlier, like winning the game earlier. There is goals of getting the advanced or the what do they call it? Bonus and elite objectives done. There is that bonus, but completing the game in fewer turns, that doesn't. Oh. Oh no, he's still alive. Okay. Yeah, still alive. Okay. Damaged a bit, but still alive. That's fine. Just so you know. Near support. Okay, they get no good attacks there. That guy's doing too well. Okay, there we go. He fell back, way back. Okay, let's. All right. Let's elite reinforce you. I'm going to fly you over to. We're going to change air bases because we can do a fast air base change. Come to here. And we're going to do a fast air base change because they have that trait. Come over here and then here and strike, and then take them out. There we go. Well, we could have taken that airbase. We still sort of kind of can. Really, but you say sort of kind of can. Yeah. That will get rid of all of their air bases here in the southern part of the map. I still have a few up in the north. Yeah, I think that's all good enough here to deal with them this turn. Here again, let's see, is there any more aircraft or something I should be shooting down? He's going to lose his airbase this turn, because well, he did lose it up over here. And we've got all the other ones controlled. So either he'll have to rebase way up to here somewhere, or he is going to be out of luck. Right, okay. Going on over there. Okay, it is now cloudy, which reduces our air effectiveness, but I don't know that that's a problem for us. Uh-huh. For some reason this guy is why. And let's let the tigers roll in. Yay! So now we have the bonus objective, which is good. Now, it is best to do the reinforcements when you're in between missions. If you do them in missions, they cost you more points. So, keep that in mind. That's why I'm not doing some of the elite reinforcements now, because it helps, but it's a bit more costly. So if I do it in a way and manner, will they just down what? Okay. Next turn. We got it. We got the turn. We can do this. Well, you know, since we're here, let's fly you over here. Oh, you're out of range. So let's come to closer airbase. You're in range, so you're gonna fly over here. Just strafe up. It's funny, my previous business partner also was called Arno. He's from Finland, but I guess this Arno in question is possibly called after the Italian river Arno. I don't know. You know, to me, Arno is a Dutch name or whatever, but I don't know where it comes from. Maybe Arno knows whether it's a river or whether it's or the river's named after a person or something. I don't know. That's something Arno might know. Well, are there any fighters I want to? Oh, bombers here. Okay, we want to go after these guys. From Arnold? Could be. I just don't know. So he has never been an Arnold. Okay, good. All right. Well, let's save this here because there may be a reason I want to before ending it. Save and resume this. Arnold the Terminator, governor of the U.S. state. Yes, governor of California. All right. Let's be prepared for next turn. Oh, fighters came from somewhere. I don't know where they came from. Oh, these could be Corsairs could be USN. There could be a carrier out here or something in there. That could be. Let's see. So long as my fighters survived, I'm relatively happy. All right. Well, let's lay on the artillery. First the Calliope, then the Wasp, and then our Grenadiers. The Azul infantry should have been first, but okay. The Imperial Japanese Army congratulates our German allies on their outstanding success. Pains me that it came to at such high cost. Well, it wasn't so high cost for us. Oh well, yes, yes. I heard that the commander Meru's death during the battle, his decision to beach the Yamato to prevent her sinking, proved to be the ultimate sacrifice. Okay. However, better the Navy to fight to the death than for our nation to perish. Well, we saved it. Yes, their atomic weapons program leaves no options for us but to take the fight to the Americans directly. We have achieved our victory at any cost, but establishing ourselves on their shore is only the beginning. Lieutenant General Watanabe, keep me informed of your progress to occupy the rest of the peninsula. Why would I don't know. They brought the big battleship here. You know, Japanese big battleships, you know, go together. We'll be moving forward to begin planning phase 2 shortly. Of course, von Manstein is our overall commander. My general, if I understand the basics of the plan, the Japanese have recommended a split approach to phase 2. As we are starting from roughly the center of California, I consider San Francisco clearly northern, but yeah. Well, you know, the next really good port is down in Los Angeles, so yeah. This leaves significant territory along the Pacific coastline, both north and south of our San Francisco base of operations. While some of our invasion forces have advanced through the heavy forest of Oregon and Washington State, another force will be advancing through the flat and open Central Valley of California. All right. It will be up to you to decide which route our troops will lead depending on your battlefield preference. In this alternate history, the Battle of San Francisco marked the beginning of the joint German-Japanese invasion of the U.S. mainland. Without protection of the U.S. Pacific Fleet, the entire western coastline was under threat, forcing the U.S. attempt to vainly defend our coastline over 1,000 kilometers in length. Even with the U.S., the coastline is not over 1,000 kilometers in length. It isn't even 1 kilometer in length. It's miles. We'd use freedom units here. It's miles. I don't care what they call it in, you know, oppressive European measurements. It would be miles. However many miles, yes. And it's, I would say more like 1,000 miles. I don't quite know, but yeah, maybe only 800. I don't know. It's a long coastline. Even with the U.S. defense spread so thin, the Axis landings at San Francisco had a serious fight on their hands, yes. The Presidio military base, headquarters and command center for the entire West Coast, proved to be the most formidable obstacle of all. It was a tough fight, rather tough fight. Shore guns and land-based aircraft defenses were strong enough that even the mighty Yamato could not sustain such punishment, as the mighty Leviathan was forced to beach itself to prevent its sinking. Though most of the ship was reduced to blazing ruins. Well, no, because I protected it, and I took the Presidio, so it didn't blow it all up, but it's still even stronger than some of the other things out here. That's scripted in, the beaching, if you guys didn't know, so yeah. The forwardmost number 1 turret continued to operate and fire throughout the length of the battle, yeah. Once the fighting was over, the decision was made to salvage and reuse the turrets this fearsome new weapon that would carry the spirit of the motto as the Axis invasion moved. Inland from San Francisco, foothold. Okay, end of briefing. So there we go. I think we'll end the episode here at the end of the Battle of San Francisco. I hope everyone enjoyed it. I want to thank Tim, Strongarm, Niagro, Timothy, Sir Toyjet, Gary, Garrett, Marcus, Folk, and Great Hoffmanator for their support over on Patreon. It is much appreciated. And I know a few of those haven't continued, but I just support you just because, hey, anybody's donated over there. That's great. And I don't need anybody to have to keep donating every month. I just really appreciate those who did. But everybody, the only thing I really ask is that you like the videos, you subscribe, and please post comments. I love it. It helps. Thanks, everybody. And it goes on YouTube right now live. Of course, can hit that like button as well as those later. So thank you. See you next time for more. Yes, even more Hearts of... Oh, no, this is Panzer Corps. Sorry. Panzer Corps. Yeah, we'll make another episode here. Just wanted to break these up a bit. But it's conquered now using German. I think it's only the U.S. still. Canada uses miles. Canada sort of has a weird mixture of metric system and the American system, or the old imperial, or whatever you want to say, the old system, Ragar. So, or Beam Slam. Sorry. So yeah, Canada still uses miles. But it's conquered the U.S. now using German units. Kilometers is a French measurement originally. Yes, it is from the Napoleonic, or the French Revolutionary / Napoleonic era. I think it was instituted under the revolutionary government before Napoleon gets in, but yeah. So yes, all right. We will continue. Okay. Can I escape? Yeah, I want to. Oh no, I can't save here. Right. Phase 2. Okay, yes, here is San Francisco. That's really more of a river, not like big lakes going in. Down here is Los Angeles. There really is no port until you're getting up into Oregon north. There are a few smallish ports south, but I think we're going to go after Southern California. Come to my home instead of up the Pacific Northwest. Not enough up there. I don't know. Okay, strategically, if this was happening, without nuclear weapons either in the German or Japanese hands, the historical Japanese army, even buffed up, but based off of it, with very, both generally speaking, I know they made a few heavyish tanks, and they made a bunch just before, a bunch. I think less than 100, but good number of heavy tanks before the planned, U.S. invasion, but never fought anywhere. I don't know Japanese armor history very well, but most of their stuff in China was very light, and the stuff that was captured, like on some of the islands that knocked out, but then captured and brought back as trophies, were very light tanks. But what would you put on a little atoll island, anyways? But Japanese equipment is fairly light. They would have very, very, very serious trouble fighting in America. The only saving grace for either the Japanese or the Germans is that it's the Pacific coast. Prior to World War II, this was heavily uninhabited. You could pick up an average person who had a decent job could pick up a small bit of literal coastal land. Not maybe like in, LA County city area kind of thing, but just sort of somewhere that now would be millions of dollars, actually on the coastal waterland. Now, but back then, before World War II, it's really World War II and all of the, soldiers, sailors, airmen that had traveled through there to go out to the Pacific War. In traveling, in traveling through both ways, that really got people to want to move out to California. Yes, there was, from the quote-unquote depression and the Dust Bowl going on that got a lot of farmers to come out because there was farm work um, out there, but that still didn't really do a lot for our state hugely in population. It's really the post-war boom that's been going up and up and up ever since. It's driven it here. So, was there lack of population? The Japanese, like I say, in a battle for San Francisco, because back then you could own guns easily in San Francisco, you would have had a extremely difficult fight for the Japanese. I don't think they could do it. I know they're very very dedicated soldiers, very committed soldiers, reasonably well trained. I wouldn't necessarily. I mean, there are highly trained units in the Japanese military, but most of them are well trained, not highly trained. I'm not trying to degrade them, but they weren't, you know, super. Because you look at some of their maneuvers, they're not super great coordinated. They're not like a ballet of warfare. They're good, but and a lot of this is the sort of the problem that they had in fighting the Americans, even in bigger, not just like on the little atolls, but bigger operations like in the Philippines and whatnot, is that they never really well coordinated. They were, good. The squad or the platoon was good because they were, in amongst themselves, but their lack of good communication is what I think it is the problem. Effective communication. They just, they can do like a mass charge and get all that ready, but just, fire and maneuver tactics between companies and battalions and all that just doesn't seem to be anywhere near like the American military. Now, yes, American military at the time was, we could argue it between some of the British units and some of the German units, but definitely in the top three of militaries on the planet at the time. Now, you wouldn't necessarily be fighting all those great troops. You might just literally be fighting civilians with guns. But the Japanese, wherever they would go, would have a very, very hard time because they just don't have lots of heavy weapons. Now, the Germans, whether it's sort of this super elite corps that I'm bringing in, or a decent German, Panzer divisions, what they could, I would say, do, and San Francisco, because it's such an urban environment, it could easily be a Stalingrad type condition, if you will, in which, it's house to house, street to street, and if you're willing to stick it out, they'll just a meat grinder. But getting out in this sort of Central Valley that's very open, yeah, actually, I think the Germans can do it and defeat the American militia defense, as well as the National Guard divisions that are still here and the other reserve divisions that hadn't been sent overseas. Yeah, I think the Germans could do it. But what they can't do is occupy it. They can move around in strength and have good battles and win, but and the American militia, and I'm not talking, reserves, I'm talking just, civilians with guns, fade away from them as they move around, with their tanks and their artillery and, good. But once they start to go into an occupation, like and they did on the East Front in Russia, no, with all the civilians having guns, and a lot of them are dedicated, marksmen that they've trained, and yeah, they may be 50, 60 years old and out of shape and aren't going to be great on the front lines, but damn good enough in their own neighborhoods, their own regions. It would be really hard for them to occupy it. But this is, like I say at the time, population-wise empty. If you're talking about the East Coast, densely populated, rough terrain, places like Appalachia and whatnot, the Germans would have had really serious problems without something like nuclear weapons, like Man in the High Castle. I haven't read the book, but the series that they did was pretty good. They postulated that there were, the Axis gets hold of, at least the Germans get hold of nuclear weapons and bombard America with them, and the Japanese had sunk the American fleet, and then were able to storm into San Francisco and the Americans gave up. The Americans wouldn't have given up against the Japanese. They might have given up against the nuclear weapons as just being an unwinnable situation now. So securing California north, Oregon and Washington are states at this time. There are shipbuilding facilities along the coast that are really useful. There are, I believe, shipbuilding, because it's Kaiser was the big shipbuilder out here, and I believe it's mostly in like Northern California and up into like Oregon and Washington is where Kaiser builds a lot of his shipyards, I believe. Because it is Kaiser, that organizes this stuff up, and it's sort of a miraculous level of starting from, some small, sleepy sort of regional, local, not international so much shipping, but regional shipping and fishing port gets turned into major, victory ships and submarines or, destroyer type production pretty damn rapidly. I don't think they were building anything like carrier. I'm not sure on the building programs, but I don't think they were building any carriers or battleships out on the Pacific coast, but decent size medium vessels, absolutely. That's one of the reasons why the Panama Canal is so important. Is a lot of the various histories I've read on either some of the, a battleship or just sort of outline histories of their activities in World War II, or carriers. A lot of the carriers before being deployed to the Pacific are training up in the Caribbean. So, they're all coming, launching and getting organized out on the East Coast and then cruising through the Panama Canal. You can get around, and they would have, around the, South America there through the Cape of Good Hope and all that. But it just would have been a lot longer and a lot more pain, logistical pain in doing so. But what you have in the South, in Southern California, I wouldn't say it's the bulk of the American aircraft production. It might be before the war, because a lot of aircraft production had moved to Southern California. But it was a major element, because they were building various aircraft factories in different parts of the nation. But there would be a lot of aircraft production in the South. So if you secured the San Francisco Bay Area and got that locked down, you could probably supply, this is actually coastal forests and sort of inland hills, lightly treed inland, but along here, I don't know what the state of it was at this time, but there's what's called the Pacific Coast Highway, which goes from Canada all the way down to the Mexican border, and much of it is just literally right, the only road next to the coast there, kind of thing. Some of it, like going through San Francisco and going through LA, goes through sort of the center of town, but Pacific Coast Highway is right along there, and I don't know its state. I know that's how it is today, and it goes, over the Golden Gate Bridge and whatnot, but I don't know its state. There was definitely roads, but some of the really nice, because I've driven it a bunch of times, Pacific Coast Highway, there's a bunch of Depression era bridges that are really nice Art Deco style bridges that they built as part of the public works plan here. So those would have been built prior to World War II, but blowing a few of those that would massively slow up any truck supply to the point that it becomes a mountain trail to get around some of these little gorges here and whatnot. So the coast road would be easy to make it impassable, very easy back in the 1930s. So they would, like they're saying, coming through the the Central Valley. Then you got some really tough hills that actually it was quite a while for the American railroads to build a railway from here down into LA because of these sort of, not really, there's a mountain here, but it's really sort of hills or whatever, if you want to call it, little small mountains, whatever. But that would be a real fight into LA area. and then LA area. There's definitely a significant urban center, but it's nothing like it is today. San Francisco was a compact, highly dense urban center at this time. LA, there was an urban center, and then you sort of literally go into the countryside to go get to the port of LA. So it would be, farm fields. Well, literally from downtown LA to get to the major Los Angeles port that was there at the time. Um, you drive basically past farm fields to then a more built up area around the port. Sort of like Rome was, in that it was near the coast but inland a ways, and then you go down the Tiber River to Ostia, the port. Now it's sort of one big conglomerate city, but sort of separated that way. That's sort of the way LA is as a center. Now there's other cities like Long Beach and other coastal cities that are, again, you sort of go through. And it's not like countryside as in trees and forests or anything like that. It's more like farm fields and just rolling fields that had been ranchos, and you see a clump of houses here, a clump of houses there, kind of thing. I've just seen photos from back then because I'm not that old. I'm old, but not that old. So yeah, I would secure, just because of the aircraft production, I would secure LA next as opposed to going north. If I'm making the choice, if you can't do both, and I can understand why you couldn't do both, then I would secure LA and then push down to San Diego because it's the major naval base down in San Diego. And then the way the railway and the roadway system, there is a path sort of from LA out to Boulder Dam near Las Vegas that way. But the main sort of railway goes inland basically from San Diego and cuts across, north of Mexico going there. Or you need to come up, actually sort of at this time, I think it's up in here. So you'd have to go north to get the other railway, the old, the Trans-Pacific Railway that was built just after the Civil War. Sort of get that to push in, because you've got these mountains. This is not going to be easy to get through, because there's going to be a lot of guys with guns that don't like you, and it isn't densely populated as the Ozarks, the Appalachian Mountains, those kind of areas on the east. But this is the Rocky Mountains, and to get a more difficult mountains to get through and heights and elements, there are passes, but they're few and very, very few and very, very far between. But to get through these passes, yeah, that's going to be very difficult. But the Rockies, I think, to get more extreme mountains, you got to either go down to the Andes down in South America, or over, to north of India, south of China, sort of the Tibet region, the Himalayas. You've literally got to go to those mountains to get equally difficult pass through large-scale mountains on the planet. So you're talking about, and this goes up to the Rockies go up to the Canadian border, down, they're fading heavily down by getting down to Mexico, basically. But so getting across here, and then you got the Great Plains out here. And I'm just sort of giving you a strategic lecture here on coming in. Yeah, I know a lot of foreigners, non-Americans read this. Don't ever plan on invading the United States in any sort of, any realistic game. Whether if Hearts of Iron was realistic, or anything, yeah, if you're going back to, because I used to play old EU way back, Europa Universalis. I remember playing it when it was just that. There was no 2 or 3 play, yeah. So when you're originally colonizing it, it's different. But once you sort of establish America, by the post-American Civil War, at least, don't ever plan on invading the United States. If in the modern sense, if you got a lot of nuclear missiles and you want to try to obliterate us, you can try that. Whether you'll succeed or not, I don't know how our anti-missile defense would work, but you might try that. And you can maybe defeat us in your jungles or your, urban environment somewhere on the planet and drive us away. Yes, you can do that. But don't ever don't ever think of coming in and invading America. This, somebody may watch this 100 years from now or something. Yeah, advice: don't ever try to invading America. Between the strategic advantages of our terrain and our, at least currently, high levels of gun ownership, the most armed country on the planet, I would say. We can talk about Switzerland, but I think we're the most armed country on the planet. Don't even think about it. In any war game, I know this is the fantasy element. They actually do a fairly good job with Axis operations. They're sort of kind of simulating the situation, not in detail things earlier, German operations in World War II, but sort of like, oh, hey, we got to race to the coast, or oh, hey, we have to defend the mountain line of defense, or oh, hey, we have to, fight our way into this, Stalingrad city or whatever. They do actually sort of do a pretty good method of simulating the essence of historical battles and situations that Germany had to face. I've not played through some of the sort of alt history earlier branches. I've only played through the historical branch of Axis operations, this is a continuation of. But, this is fantasy. But so if you have, oh, hey, get to invade it in Hearts of Iron 3 or Hearts of Iron 4. No, I'm sorry. It just, I don't care how good your Panzer divisions are. It's just, East Coast. Like in the West Coast, I say, we are sort of open in a few populations that you might be able to get some places, but get here and get all the way, supply yourselves with the Americans, trust me, would be wrecking the major railways enough, not just the bridges, but enough that you're not going to be supplying it. They're going to be blowing up some of the major truck bridges, and yeah, you're not going to be able to do strategic forces enough to get to our Great Plains out here, where then you could maneuver, but you're not going to do that. I'm sorry, it's just not a practical reality. So any game that's doing this, it's either broken or, like this, is a fantasy game. So just keep that in mind. Okay, let's see what the chat's been saying. Whether the bases, Japanese and Germans would bomb the U.S. to oblivion. Well, if they have nukes, yeah, you could do that. But again, the American production of aircraft alone matches like everybody else, including, I don't know, maybe Russia produces a lot of aircraft, but it gets most of the combatants, all of them, both sides combined, we're outdoing production. So even if you sunk our fleet. See, this is what Japan calculates in World War II, that if it sinks the fleet, well, that then it can negotiate with America, because it's going to take 2 or 3 years to build a new fleet. Now, Japan's experience was with Russia, which part of that fleet that Russia is a really remarkable achievement, that Russia gets their fleet all the way around, in the Russo-Japanese War, around successfully without like losing half of it just to, losses at sea. Russia does a remarkable bit of sailing, and then have all those sailors just drowned in the Straits of Tsushima. A lot of that fleet, I believe, was built by the Germans as commission, in the late 19th century. Japan, if it sinks our fleet, cannot then just sit off the coast and bomb shipyards, because the shipyards, hell, some of them are on the Great Lakes. Others are, because I'll get to it. Just for, because I didn't watch the video, missed opportunity, the Graf Zeppelin, German aircraft carrier. Huh? Well, it might have been useful against the British a little bit, but Realize, America, by the end of 1945, America has 130 aircraft carriers in operation. I know they had more than that during the war, but they had lost 1 or 2 or something from effective action. But so we had at least, by the time, we dropped the bomb on Pearl Harbor, or no, on Nagasaki and Hiroshima, we had 130 aircraft carriers. And I believe, the Graf Zeppelin, and I don't know all of its stats, but looks like it's a really good ship, designed as a ship. But its aircraft carrier capacity, I think, was about equivalent to our escort carriers. And I'm putting the escort carriers, the light carriers, and the big fleet carriers all into this mix. But it's about an escort carrier's worth of aircraft. Might be a lot faster ship. Escort carriers were slow. Most of them were. Some of them were literally converted oil tankers over to being carriers. So, they're slow vessels. But they're effective for convoy escort or supporting naval invasions, and they're used offensively, escort carriers in the Philippines and whatnot. So, yeah, we have 130 aircraft carriers. Japan is never going to be able to shut down our production because it's bi-coastal. It's basically 3 coasts: East Coast, Gulf Coast, and Pacific Coast. So they can't shut down naval production. But they don't really take that into account in their strategic thinking. Even Yamamoto. They think they can sink the fleet, and then it's going to take a few years to build a new fleet that they figure is going to be about like the fleet that we currently had in peacetime. Not 130 aircraft carriers. And only a few of those were around at the beginning of the war. Just a handful. I think 4, 5. Because the old Langley is sort of decommissioned. It's the old original Langley. They built a new Langley. One of the light carriers is named Langley, but it's sort of used as an aircraft transport ship. It's not used as an aircraft carrier. Hell, we build one aircraft carrier that's landlocked in the Great Lakes just as a training aircraft carrier that sails around the Great Lakes to train pilots taking off and landing on it. It's not a proper aircraft carrier, but it's something that moves around and, has engines and go out to sea or go out to the lake and, they practice taking off and landing from it and whatnot. But yeah, so they think they get rid of the fleet, and then America would be vulnerable long enough that it would negotiate a settlement. That's what they think. Now, of course, Yamamoto, smart enough, who had traveled all over America, places like Chicago, Texas, and whatnot, knew that once it was a surprise attack, that the people didn't know they were at war, he knew they had lost. At that moment, he knew they had lost. He thought they were going to lose anyways, but he knew they had lost at that moment because he knew the Americans had not well enough they'd be enraged. But yeah. Okay, would it be possible to invade Australia instead of the U.S. if the opportunity ever came up? This might also be drag America into a war of long attrition, a long way from home. Yeah, that might be because they had a lot more guns in Australia than they do today as a percentage of the population because they've confiscated a lot of the guns down there. But they had the Great Emu War, which they were killing off emus in the Great Outback. That didn't work so well. Emus are remarkably resistant to .303 rounds, literally, from what I've read. And yeah, it's just such a low population country that somebody like the Japanese could, in theory, invade and occupy. The problem is they just really don't have the forces to do it because they're stretching themselves thinner and thinner and thinner because they're fighting in China. Yeah, they get like 300,000 Chinese. Now, I'm not talking Manchukuo up in the north. I'm talking Chinese to enlist in their Chinese, reorganized Republic of China army. That they get them. They get like 300,000, but they're not. But to my understanding, at least most of the units are not like proper, motivated combat units. They're sort of heavily armed security guards, guarding bridges and factories and, checkpoints on roads and, civil population control and that kind of thing. Guys that are just doing it for the paycheck and they think maybe Japan's going to win. So they're doing it, because they're sort of desperate, not because they love Japan or whatever. It's just they think maybe Japan's going to win and things are really bad, so I'm, take the, get their rice bowl filled from Japan. But even with that, Japan is being pushed so thin and holding out in Burma against the British, because even though they barely invade Britain, or not Britain, India once, Japan does, and gets pushed back. And there's very little roads, there's very little substantial connection. So for a while, the British really aren't pushing back into Burma until, the tide sort of turns. But even then, even before the British push in, Japan has to occupy that sort of Burma-India border effectively, occupy the Philippines, occupy Malaya and Singapore, occupy the Dutch East Indies. They got all that stuff. So they're stretching themselves thin. So, but yes, I think they could if they could find the manpower by withdrawing it from China or withdrawing it from occupying somewhere else and just going whatever. And we're sending all those divisions down to Australia. And the other thing that Japan just never, I mean, there's a few incidents and a few commanders that seem to get it, that I don't know whether they're disobeying orders or they just go, hey, there's a transport, let's sink it. Instead of holding, because I think a lot of Japanese submarines see transports and watch them go by because they're waiting to sink the destroyer or find a, a proper war target, because that gives them the honor. So if Japan set up a proper commerce rating with their rather large and reasonably effective submarine fleet out in the Pacific, and especially trying to hit the supply lines between U.S. and Australia, going after the convoys, doing sort of wolf pack type tactics after convoys and not looking for the fleets, not escorting, because Japan often had submarines out as a screening force way out in front of their fleet, out there running around on the surface ready to dive whenever they saw either an aircraft or an enemy vessel, but out there as a screening element. If they had retasked them like the Germans did or the Americans did as commerce raiders, they could have done a lot more damage, just because they're not bad submariners. They're not bad subs. That wasn't the problem with them. Now, they didn't keep up with the American technology or the American numbers or the eventual American training, but they weren't bad at it. It just, they tactically were used wrong. So, but yeah, Australia would be a way to jujitsu the war a bit, I would agree. Okay, U.S. imports and blockade them, or kill U.S. imports, they would get big problems. Please explain to me what significant things America needed to import in World War II. I'll start. Rubber. Rubber's one. America, what is it? Is it Chevron? No, Standard Oil. Standard Oil. Standard Oil is working with IG Farben of Germany before the war. IG Farben is working on synthetic oil and synthetic rubber. Standard Oil cares really functionally nothing about synthetic oil, or liquefaction of coal into oil, but they very much care about trying to do synthetic petroleum-based rubber as opposed to rubber trees rubber. And so they're working with the Germans on that, and they get some advances on that going too, but they never really seem to get enough. My understanding is America, more or less, not maybe 100%, but more or less has enough gasoline or diesel, fuel capacity production. I know I'm butchering that. Enough fuel capacity production to fully do everything they need to do to, get that fuel out to, whether it's sending it to Russia, I know they're doing their own oil, or sending it to Britain, or sending it to Australia, or sending it to South Africa, because they don't have a lot of oil down there, to change over. Yeah, I know the British Empire is getting oil out of Persia and other places too, but we're also sending out oil. And all the U.S. military needs, for whether it's fuel oil for ships or, aviation fuel, we do just about, I think, enough, and can do, if we tweak it enough, to do what I do believe, to do all the military, and let America drive all their cars that they want to. We have the capacity. My understanding, the reason we do fuel rationing in America is tires. We want to limit the amount of driving tires do, because we do not have enough rubber, whether it's synthetic rubber or, rubber coming. They try to get it out of Brazil. They do some, but it's not that much, and it's never enough. So they're trying to get rubber, natural rubber or synthetic rubber. It's never enough. And so that's why they do fuel rationing. So, instead of rubber rationing, and they do significantly massive drives to get people to turn in old tires into, recycling centers to recycle the tires, the rubber, into other needs. So it is a rubber issue, not a fuel issue. It's my understanding, or at least primary. So whether it's, just, hey, it's the weekend, what do you want to do? Let's go for a drive and see the countryside, take a picnic lunch, as a holiday from, working in the war factories. They didn't want you to do that because the rubber, not the fuel. Now, of course, if you're a truck that's helping out the war industry, for whatever it might be, some commercial truck, oh, hey, yeah, you can have as much fuel as as they think you need, and, whatever, and for your deliveries, no problem. And there are exemptions for certain groups of people around that gets either larger rationing or just however much kind of they need it. I don't know, doctors doing house calls or something, maybe. There are that, but but yeah, I don't know what else America needs. Maybe you can tell me. Insignificant quantities that affect the war. I'm not, yes, they're also, like, I think it's from Brazil or one of the places, they're importing crystals to go into crystal radio sets. And there are some edge cases that America is somewhat dependent at the time. But please tell me, and your idea of what more significant importations that we need to blockade them in the U.S. Yeah, it just seems like pure fantasy to me. Yeah, this is fantasy here, no doubt. We'll say the elves come out of the ground and help the invasion out. Yes, exactly, ZZ. Why did you invade America? Didn't you speak English? Yes, exactly. Yes. No, we didn't. Yes, yeah. Hello, Luigi. Can we use the fifth column to invade America? Well, that is sort of is how you can, people talk about the current huge mass of illegal aliens coming in, and they are either, what you can call them, illegal, or you can call them criminal aliens, because they're breaking the laws to come into the USA. And a lot of people believe that there is a fifth column in amongst a bunch of other economic refugees. And I do not believe the great majority of the people flooding in are coming specifically to do harm, but we've recently captured a couple of people along the American border that definitely were on previously known, like, terror wanted or terror watch list types from around the world, and just in the last few months. So whether they had given up terror and were just looking for a job and thought the job market in America was better than, I don't know, the job market in Egypt or something, and they some of these people are, like, from, not from South America, meaning they're, whether it's Africa or the Middle East or wherever. We've caught a few that are, on the wanted list or on the watch list for terrorist associations. Certain groups don't want to publicize that in America, but yeah, the fifth column is a weakness. The Graf Zeppelin was a light carrier at most. Yes, absolutely, Arno. Now, I'm not saying it was a badly designed ship, but from everything I see, it was badly designed as an aircraft, efficiently handling a bunch of aircraft. It just, for its tonnage, and I don't remember the stats when I looked at it, I go, that's all it carried for that size of ship? And then looked at like the American light carriers, like, I don't know, I'm just going to say it, like carried double the aircraft or something. It just was, yeah, looks like a really cool looking ship, and probably has good engines and good maneuvering and handling, but just as a aircraft carrying and handling and refueling and all that just doesn't seem to work very well. Hello, Jose World, how you doing? Good morning to you. And rubber checks was also rationed. Rubber checks was also rationed. As in like bouncing checks? I don't know. Or is that the cereal? I don't know. Immigration to the U.S. vis-a-vis Europe is so different. Yes, we are. Hello, Chunk. What is that? CCAA. At least those who walk into the U.S. don't hate the West to the extent that, like in Europe. Yes, there is that. Now, we have been seeing, as in, now, because they're brought, we have been seeing in batches, hundreds, like 200 or 300 in a batch of Africans that somehow made it from Africa to Mexico. And also batches in like the hundreds of ethnically Chinese people that have made it from somewhere to Mexico. And I say that somewhere because in theory, I don't know if because a lot of them get over here and then throw away their identity papers, whether passports or whatever, because they want to claim refugee status and claim whatever. But presumably from mainland China. Now, how are they getting out of mainland China into Mexico? Because I don't think these are Taiwanese. I don't think these are Singaporeese or some of these other people, or people fleeing from Hong Kong, because they'll probably get a British passport and try to go to Britain or Canada. So we've been seeing in the hundreds clumps of non-continental Americans. But yes, the overwhelming numbers, and a lot of them are fleeing communist Venezuela now, and are fleeing north into to America, and the Democrats think they're going to become good, loyal Democratic voters. I think they think that. But in fact, they may be sort of like Cuban Americans once they get here. And we've also been seeing people rafting from Cuba again, because there's a bit of a famine or whatever's going on in Cuba. They're requesting the world send food. So if you want to help out the communists, you can send food or money to Cuba to buy money, if you buy food, or they'll buy something with it if you send money. The elites rafting out. Yeah, a lot of them are fleeing bad situations in Latin America, and others are just simply coming from maybe not for the nation, not necessarily bad situations, but just coming to the promised land of America. And others are like, because if you look at what, I forget his name, the current president of El Salvador basically declared war on the gangs, suspending the idea of habeas corpus and trials and whatnot. And since a lot of the gang members have tattooed themselves up, just go find them and put them in prison. That a lot of those types have fled into America, or for the cartels, I believe, as well, in Mexico, is hired guns to them. But yeah, they aren't necessarily haters of America. Yeah, they're maybe not terribly liking gringos, but they don't. I don't, in my personal experience, because whether working security in restaurant industries, or I was talking to somebody yesterday about some of the offices that I rented out as part of the small business that I've had in the long past now. Cleaning crews, most all of them are Mexicans that I knew. And so a bunch of them were, as I said, they were peasants. They barely could read and write their own language, recognize words like pharmacia on the signs, but couldn't read a sentence in Spanish. I know some of these people that had come to America. So it wasn't just that they lacked reading skills in America, English, but they just were not literate, as in being able to read a book or read a newspaper article. And they spoke to me in broken English. I don't know how good their Spanish was even, as being an illiterate person. But I really personally have not had any significant interactions. I say that because who knows, the Spanish person at the McDonald's that's serving me food, there or whatever, that's getting those jobs. I don't know necessarily where they're from. A bunch of them are from America, born here too. I mean, it's not all immigrants, but because California particularly has a very, very old, predating the Anglo showing up, old Spanish presence here. I say Spanish because I don't say Mexican, because it was what, 20 years, 30 years that California was Mexican? Before that, it was Spanish. It wasn't Mexican. It was Spanish. And most of the old Spanish families, sort of the caballeros, the guys who rode the horses at the haciendas, they were intermarrying with the Indians, yeah. But a lot of the elite families, they were Spanish. The big hacienda families in California that had divided up much of California, they were Spanish. Now, maybe 3 or 4 generations in California, but they were not mestizo or Mexican mixed. That's where mestizo means mixed. So, as in racially. So I don't really have personal. I'm just thinking, I can't think of anybody that I even vaguely know that's like coming up from Colombia or Venezuela or Guatemala or whatever. Most of them that I've known, and I've known some fairly damn well over my years here. And some, grew up partially there, and grew up partially here, and going to our school systems and whatnot, and so they speak English reasonably well, and just with an accent kind of thing. You can tell that they're not true Californian, true Mexican Americans by their heavier Mexican accents. But yeah, I never really got the feeling that they hated us, as a group, or as an individual. It's just they come up here for a better environment, better work environment. So it's different. You're right. It's not a, chunk that they're coming in here and want to, hate us, or, they're like, completely different. Because Latin culture, from Spain and Portugal, is different than Anglo culture from, England/Great Britain. It is different, but they're both European-based cultures. And English is somewhat of a Latin language base. I mean, it's a mix of Latin and Germanic language. So yeah, we're not entirely dissimilar. We have a lot of similarities, but there are also a lot of differences too. So it's not. It does do negative cultural change, in my opinion, but it's not as dramatic as the huge floods of sub-Saharan Africans, or various, whether Arab or Persian or whatever other Muslim ethnicities that are flooding into Europe now, that I would say do not support the current views of Europe. Bounce check. Okay, that's where you're at. Let's see. The online commies will just say those Cubans in the rafts are actors or traitors to the revolution, or CIA or something. I don't know what they'll say. I haven't really heard about it. I've just seen a few pictures, and someone was memeing about it. You never see people from a free market, I think these are very close to the words, from a free market economy getting on rafts in shark-infested waters to get out of the country. It was the anti-communists. So yeah, you may see, people, because I'm getting ready to leave California. If you don't know, I'm from California. I don't want to specify my exact address, so I'm not going to give you my exact city. But I'm from California. I'm moving east. I'm working on that. Taking my time. Probably take about a year. Just taking my time. But I'm getting out of here, and part of it is economics. Part of it's other reasons too. You can maybe figure that, hey, I'm a conservative, and this is California, and I have a fairly decent collection of guns, and you can sort of understand some of the other reasons why I'm leaving California. But yeah, so people do leave free market countries or economies to go to other ones, but they don't do it on rafts through shark-infested waters. So yeah, do the immigrants stick to their own language mostly? Yes, they do, mostly. Now, they want to, they're demanding, these last floods, the last 5 years or so, they are demanding a lot more social welfare, a lot more support. And again, most of these are much more south in Central America or down actually in South America. There is evidence, and I don't know all of it, but there is evidence that they're being encouraged to come north by NGOs. But there's a lot of rumors specifying, you come north, you get a free phone, and you'll get a hotel room, and get a starting check of a few $1,000s. And some of that's true, depending on the state and where they get to. That there are some programs like that for these things, because the government will give them a free cell phone. You know why the government gives them a free cell phone? Because they know there is a specific court system that just hears because they would get sent home immediately if they showed up. Hi, I'm here to get a job, and just illegally. No, go home. But they come and go, hi, I'm a refugee. And because we're a legalistic society, oh, well, he claims to be a refugee claiming from whatever country. Do you have any papers? No, I lost them. Okay, he claims he's from country X, Venezuela. Maybe he's from Colombia or whatever. I'm fleeing narco guerrilla movement or something, narco conflict, the narcotics gangs in some of these Latin American countries, and I'm fleeing that for my own safety. They'll have a little thing that they'll have to say, and it could be very easily handled and dismissed, the case. But the backlog, because they don't increase the number of judges to hear these cases, it's going to be 2 years. So what we'll do is we'll give you a phone, and we'll note down the phone number. We'll give you a call, and you can tell us where you are at the time, what state you're in, and we'll get you to the local at that point, as we go through the backlog, because, we're on people that came 2 years ago, and we're getting 10 times more people in now, literally. So, it'll probably be 4 years before we get to your case. So here's the phone. We have the number. We'll give you a call and tell you when to show up and at what court. Now, will they ever show up? Most don't. But that's why we give them a free phone, that we keep paying. The government keeps paying the service company to keep that phone active, because we want it active so that we can call them and tell them where the court case is going to happen. They won't give me a free phone. They'll give them a free phone. No, they're not like great phones, but they continue to pay for the phone basic service that I could, take the SIM card and a better phone, but they won't give me even a free phone. So so that's it. But most of them, because there's so many of them, they learn at most the minimum. Because one of the big companies I work for is a job. Don't want to specify it. The cleaning crew all spoke Spanish, and if other than sort of wave and come here and point at something to be cleaned up, I had to find one of the Mexican Americans that worked in the company that also spoke Spanish, because the big company, again, I don't want to specify companies or whatnot, because partially what I'm saying, they might be actionable. The big company is big enough that it has to run proper, social security numbers and make sure it's not some, 25 people using the same social security number bullshit or whatever, make sure that the people that are here that are working for the company, whether they're dreamer status, illegal aliens that are still not legal, but they're still not illegal, that they give temporary ID numbers for, all this bullshit. So they have some sort of semi-documented or documented status here to work actually for the company. Well, the company hires out the cleaning staff from third-party contractors that if the government shuts them down tomorrow, they'll just open up another company, go from Moonrise to Moonset Company or whatever, for night cleaning. And so these people just, I mean, they don't even have hardly any functional English on them, and they live. One of them that we found, and he got fired. We were hearing a noise in the back of his pickup truck. He actually had sort of a nice pickup truck. Somebody sort of kind of lifted the thing and looked in there. Cockfighting. It wasn't chickens. It was rooster cockfighting. He was part of a cockfighting ring. So yeah, some of these are, and so he was driving a fairly nice truck to and from work. So however he got the money for that, I don't know, because he was working a job that paid less than I did for doing my stuff. And my job wasn't paying, wasn't terrible, but wasn't very good either. That's why they were hiring these people, because they were cheaper to hire a contractor who gets a percentage of the pay to get the stuff done than just to hire in the actual cleaning people as this being employee of the company that owns the building that employed the rest of us, that they got this third party contractor instead of just hiring an employee or two that call them janitors as company employees. So yeah, it's a lot of their own language. Do you know many people who immigrated to the EU from the Middle East, Africa, and other places? Oh, I do know. And they are nice people among them, but almost all of them seem to have very distorted view on history. Oh, yes. I haven't seen you around here much, Chunk. I am very much a culturalist. I call myself a culturalist. Because I'm in California, I grew up around people that were various different skin colors, but because they were middle class, they were very much like me. And then because of various things here, going to schools and sort of more inner cities and going, oh, these are filled with a bunch of people that are from Mexico. They're like in high school, and they've had a few years before, maybe in junior high school or something in American schools, but they're nothing like the Mexican Americans, the middle class Mexican Americans that I grew up with. So I grew up learning that it's not about skin color or hair color or eye color. It's about culture. And so a proper Mexican American will have an accent very much like my own, and very well may speak Spanish too, and maybe very well or maybe poorly. And some of these Mexican Americans, I remember one woman I knew, she had cousins living south of the border, but yeah, her family, 2 or 3 generations back or more, had been born in America too, on her family. So, it's a blended family, as some, long-term, going back to World War II or before or whatever, I don't know specifically, but multi-generational being American, marrying or whatever. And I don't know which father, mother, whatever. I knew her mother was very much, I think, born in America in a house that she lives in. But, but then she has, cousins or whatever that are Mexican nationals living, across the border in Tijuana. So yeah, some of them are very blended families, between Mexico and America. But like I speak with her, she spoke with just a minor Mexican accent. But I knew she went through her whole, she was an American citizen, born in America, and she went through her whole school life in, California public schools. So reasonably well, not into college, but in, through high school. Reasonably well educated. And so these aren't like third world people. I'm talking Mexican Americans. These are not third world people. These are proper Americans that are Mexican Americans that are like me, is more, British and Scottish. Well, I guess British includes Scotland. The British Isles Americans, So it's just a different flavor of Americans. So there's differences. I'm a Southwest person, so I grew up on Mexican food as much as any other sort of ethnic food. Literally, my mother was making, though, again, she's very sort of English and Scottish, making burritos and tacos and whatnot at home since childhood. So we grew up around, Southern California culture, which is highly influenced by Mexico. So I don't have a negative feeling against Mexicans. I have a negative feeling against illegal immigrants, so. And I've known very good illegal immigrants, so I wasn't mad at the individual that I was working with in a lot of the restaurant business and over my different careers at different times. don't blame them. I blame the system, and I, want them deported. And then we can bring them the ones that we want in. We go, oh, we need people to work jobs. Okay, well, let's bring those in. As through an orderly process. That's all I want is an orderly process. So I'm a culturalist. So that's how I view people. Like you're saying that you may have some very nice people from somewhere, but they have very different views. Seems like a good idea. Moving. Yes, I am. I am working on it. I am trying to get a few things achieved here, and then I'm going to go spend a few months. I will say the state in Arizona. I'll continue to do the live streams and the YouTube channel, but I'll be doing it from my secret mountain base up in Arizona. You going to the right? No, I'm going to Arizona, which I'm a little worried about the government in Arizona. But it's better, and I'm not going to a big city in Arizona. I'm going to an incorporated city. It's not like out in the wilderness, but small town Arizona is where I'm heading off to. How much does the companies depend on immigrant workers? It varies from the company to company, but I would guess, I've never been on like Google's campuses, because they have multiple ones, or some of these other big tech firms. We call them campuses because they're like college campuses, and they have a bunch of other facilities, including like some fast food restaurants on the campus or something, and some of these things and whatnot, or trendy ones, not McDonald's but Chipotle or whatever. I think a lot of them, again, I don't know, and I haven't worked on some of them. I think a lot of them depend upon like the gardening service for the campus and the maintenance staff of just cleaning and basic stuff and basic primitive contracting, not like maybe high end electronic wiring for server farms, but a lot of the other stuff. I think they are illegal immigrants that they subcontract out, so that if there's any ever civil or criminal liabilities, it's not them that'll get dinged for it. It's the contracting company that hires the individuals. It's sort of like if you hire a licensed contractor to work on your home. I know a few politicians that say, I require everybody here, and I'm going to check that everybody here has proper U.S. citizenship, and contractors, I can't work on your home then, because a lot of the contractors will be a legitimate business, but half or more of their staff, like if you're adding a room to your house, or you're having a patio built or whatever, a lot of those workers are not here. Now, they may have been here 10 or 20 years, but do not have status properly enough that if you really truly checked everybody's paperwork, that they would be legit workers. They would be illegitimate workers. And the contractors are just sort of, there's too many small time small times. It's like, build a house for me, and we need, and they'll build a house. I'm not talking, well, I don't know about big like housing, because there's still housing development projects going on. I don't know how many of their workers are U.S. citizens versus, and maybe the company that's having the houses built in a housing development, maybe they're just then contracting out to other contractors to provide the labor. So, and unlike other parts of the United States that I understand, particularly in the Northeast, a lot of the construction workers are all, for big or small jobs, are all unionized. Out here, they're not for construction. And, so the unions don't fight it. Not that there aren't unions out here with that, but they're not all unionized. So, yeah, it's, so even that. Yeah, Phoenix has good. I've been going through Phoenix Airport a lot recently, but not really wandering around Phoenix much. I do understand that there are good neighborhoods and there are very rough neighborhoods. I'll go. I don't it's just sort of don't need doxing, as you can understand, but so I'm not going to specify what town, but it is a relatively small town in Arizona. that is sort of considered countryside, if you know what I mean. But it is in a town, meaning a couple blocks away from where I live. There's an Arby's, and 2 more blocks over, sort of, there's a huge mega Walmart store as big as I've ever seen. So it's real near. It's real in sort of town, but it's small town kind of. But yeah, there is a mega Walmart store there. That could narrow down it a little bit. But so it's not a tiny town. It's not lost somewhere, but it's not a big city. So that's where I'm moving to. I don't know what I'm going to keep, if I'm going to, but it's going to take me a while. I got to get stuff organized out there, and then I got to get stuff unorganized up here to get out, and it's going to take me a while, and I'm just doing it slowly. There's a lot of unpaid temporary workers. Yeah. I'm going to Area 51. Area 51 is up in Nevada. Up in Nevada, north of Las Vegas. That's where Area 51 is. Way north. That's in another state. Not in Arizona. And so, yeah, I guess, guys, we're going to end this here. I've been loving hanging out with you, talking about things. I hope you enjoyed our change of venue of games. I will see if I can get the bug figured out, problem versions mashed up between one of my saved versions. I may have picked the wrong one to bring in for the game, or maybe the game is too ruined now. I don't know. For the continuation of Hearts of Iron, Black Ice, we'll see. Maybe I'll get it done by next week. I don't know. But tomorrow I will be back, and hopefully with Arno and others. If any of you want to join us, we'll make room at least once or twice, if not a bunch of times, to join us to play some War Thunder, hang out and chat and whatnot. We'll be doing that. So we'll see about that, Arno. We may be able to do 1 or 2 at least. I don't know what we are. Maybe 6, 7s, but we can do at least a little bit of something like that. U.S. or allies. Yeah, we can possibly. But so Arno and I and others will be back. So come out and hang out with us and chat, or actually get in the tanks and drive. Because I'll play at least 1 or 2 missions of 1.0, because War Thunder is free to play. That's generally sort of the rule we have for Sunday Game, that it's free to play. So if you have a decent download, you can download and play, and we'll play at least 1 or 2 missions free if you want to join us, but just trying to keep the community up. So thanks, everyone. See you all tomorrow. I don't think I'm streaming for Slithering next week. I think it's the week after next, so I don't think. But so see you guys later. Been fun. See you, Beam Slam. ZZ Chunk, I guess is how you pronounce that. Josie World, how you doing? Yeah, thanks. Have a good day, everyone. Talk to you.